If you have a 1993 penny in your collection, you may very well be holding one of the rarest and most coveted coins in modern numismatics. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this could make you the luckiest person in the world. Most people pass by pennies every day without realizing that hidden among them could be a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars in the right hands. The 1993 1-cent penny is one of those secrets, a small, unassuming piece of copper-plated zinc that has quietly become the obsession of collectors across the globe. If you happen to stumble upon it, in your change, in a jar, or tucked away in an old wallet, you could be on the verge of discovering a fortune that most will never even imagine. The story of a 1993 penny begins at the Denver Mint, where during production an unexpected anomaly occurred. While millions of 1993 pennies were struck, a very small number emerged with a rare double-die error or a misplaced mint mark, details so subtle that only the trained eye or a collector at a high-end auction can spot them. On a normal penny, the Lincoln Memorial or the date appears perfectly, cleanly, with every letter and number aligned. But on the 1993 penny, the date or the mint mark may show doubling, slight misalignment, or faint irregularities that instantly elevate the coin from ordinary to priceless. Many of these pennies quietly slipped into circulation, used as regular change, unaware that they carried a hidden treasure. Collectors and auction houses know exactly what to look for. Closed-door auctions, private numismatic sales, and exclusive collector-only events are constantly featuring these pennies, creating a frenzy among those who hunt them. The thrill comes from scarcity. Millions of pennies exist, yes, but only a few of the 1993 era variety survive, hidden in collections, forgotten in drawers, or recently discovered in jars of coins. Some of these coins have gone unnoticed for decades, only to surface unexpectedly in an auction catalog, sending bidders into a frenzy as they compete for what could be the chance of a lifetime. The design itself is deceptively simple, which makes the rarity even more fascinating. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse has become iconic, a familiar face that many overlook every day. Yet the mint mark, the small d for Denver, carries the key to immense value. Tiny imperfections or doubling on this mint mark can make the difference between a penny worth a cent and one that commands tens of thousands of dollars at a private auction. Seasoned collectors have traveled across the country to inspect a single 1993 penny at an exclusive sale, knowing that a flawless example could be worth far beyond imagination. And indeed, auction records show that this coin has fetched jaw-dropping sums when authenticated and sold under the right conditions. Imagine the scene at one of these private auctions. A room filled with intense collectors, the air thick with anticipation, everyone watching the coin under a magnifying glass, the tension rising as the bidding begins. A penny, seemingly ordinary, suddenly becomes the focal point of a heated battle. Every bid drives the price higher, the excitement palpable, until finally the hammer falls and the winning collector realizes they have just acquired a rare piece of history, potentially worth more than a small fortune. This is the world of the 1993 penny, where ordinary coins hide extraordinary secrets, and luck determines who will discover them. Every detail matters in evaluating a 1993 penny. Experts examine the date, mint mark, and any signs of doubling or misalignment. Even the slightest flaw or perfection, depending on how you look at it, can shift the coin's value dramatically. Private auction houses pay meticulous attention to these details, and collectors scrutinize every example, sometimes purchasing coins unseen based on the reputation of the seller or previous sales of similar rare pennies. The 1993 penny isn't just a coin. It's a gateway into a world of rare numismatics, where decades of history, scarcity, and collector obsession converge to create unimaginable excitement. The thrill of discovery is unmatched. Some of these pennies have passed through hidden collections, tucked safely in wallets, boxes, or safes, only to reappear at auctions decades later. Each sale adds to the legend of the 1993 penny, building a story that collectors follow closely, like a detective following clues through time. Every closed-door auction, every private sale, and every collector-only event reignites interest in this extraordinary penny, reminding the world that true treasures can often be found in the most ordinary places. And now, for the moment every collector dreams of. The 1993 penny has been sold in recent high-end auctions for astonishing amounts, reaching upwards of $75,000 for pristine, authenticated examples. Think about that. A coin worth just 1 cent, when minted, now command a price that could change your life. If you find this coin, you're not just lucky. You are holding a piece of numismatic history, a rare treasure that many have searched for their entire lives and never found. Owning a 1993 penny is about more than money. It's about being part of a secret world of collectors, a hidden network that whispers about rare finds, celebrates discoveries in private auctions, and marvels at the mystery of coins that survive decades in perfect condition. If you hold this penny in your hand, you are literally holding a story, a fortune, and a piece of history all at once. Each time this coin appears in an auction catalog, the tension builds, collectors prepare for battle, and the final bid confirms that something as small and overlooked as a penny can become a legendary treasure. So, check your change, look through old jars, search wallets and drawers, because the next 1993 penny could be the one that changes your life. If you have this coin, know that you are among the luckiest people in the world, standing at the threshold of a fortune hidden in plain sight. Every auction, every private sale, every collector's catalog reinforces one truth. Ordinary pennies can hide extraordinary secrets, and this penny, more than any other, proves that sometimes the most incredible treasures are right under our noses. So, if you've been casually tossing pennies into jars, wallets, or drawers, it's time to take a closer look. That ordinary 1993 penny you've overlooked for years could very well be the rare treasure collectors around the world are searching for. Remember, this isn't just a coin. It's history, it's rarity, it's a secret fortune waiting to be discovered, and it has the power to change your life. A single auction has proven that this small penny can reach $75,000 in the right hands. Imagine the thrill of realizing that what seemed like ordinary change could be worth more than most people earn in years. Every collector dreams of this moment. Every private auction buzzes with excitement. And every time a 1993 penny surfaces, it reignites the legend of this tiny but extraordinary coin. If you happen to find it, you are literally holding a piece of history, a story of luck and fortune that most will never experience. If you have a 1989 1-cent penny in your collection, you might be holding one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in modern numismatics. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this could make you the luckiest person in the world. Most people see pennies every day and think of them as nothing more than pocket change, completely unaware that among the ordinary coins in circulation hides a treasure of incredible value. The 1989 penny might look just like any other, small, copper-colored, carrying Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile, but a closer look reveals that this coin could be a key to a fortune that many collectors would give anything to find. Every time this penny shows up at a private auction or a collector-only sale, it creates a frenzy because those who understand its rarity know that it is not just a coin. It is a hidden gem waiting for the right person to discover it. The story of a 1989 penny is fascinating. That year, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, yet a small number carry subtle anomalies that make them extraordinarily rare. Some of these coins feature slight misstrikes, doubling of the date or letters, or irregularities in the mint mark placement. These are details most people completely overlook, but to collectors, they're the difference between a coin worth a cent and a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine casually emptying a jar of pennies and discovering one of these rare treasures. That simple act could change your life in an instant. Collectors around the world are obsessed with these coins. Closed-door auctions, private sales, and high-end numismatic events are constantly on the lookout for 1989 pennies in pristine condition. The thrill of owning one is unmatched. Every penny that surfaces sparks intense competition, with seasoned collectors scrutinizing every detail, examining every letter, number, and mint mark under magnification. Even a tiny sign of doubling or misalignment can make a coin exponentially more valuable. The 1989 penny has become a legend in collector circles because, unlike gold or silver coins, most pennies were tossed aside, used as change, and rarely preserved. That scarcity makes the few surviving examples extraordinarily valuable. The design of the coin itself adds to the mystique. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln gazes quietly forward, an image familiar to anyone who has grown up with U.S. currency. But on this rare penny, every detail matters. The sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the crispness of the date, the mint mark placement, all contribute to its value. The mint mark, often a tiny D for Denver or S for San Francisco, might seem insignificant, but in the world of coin collecting, it is the key identifier that can elevate an ordinary penny into a collector's masterpiece. Auction catalogs are filled with stories of collectors traveling thousands of miles just to inspect a single coin at a private sale, knowing that a flawless 1989 penny can command enormous sums. Imagine the excitement in an exclusive auction house as this penny crosses the block. The tension in the room is palpable. Experienced collectors sit with magnifying glasses, their eyes fixed on the coin, hearts pounding as bidding begins. Each offer escalates the stakes, and the room holds its breath until the auctioneer's hammer falls. A single cent, once considered nothing more than pocket change, suddenly becomes a treasure worth a small fortune. This is the reality of the 1989 penny. It may look ordinary, but in the right hands and under the scrutiny of the collector community, it becomes extraordinary. Every detail of the 1989 penny matters, from the tiniest doubling on the date to the sharpness of the mint mark. Experts authenticate each coin with precision, and collectors pay close attention to the provenance, condition, and rarity. Private auctions, closed-door sales, and exclusive numismatic events all serve as stages where these pennies reveal their true value. Seasoned collectors know that discovering a high-grade 1989 penny is like finding a needle in a haystack, and the thrill of owning one is matched only by the adrenaline of bidding against other collectors at auction. Some of these pennies have survived decades in drawers, wallets, and piggy banks, while others were tucked away in old collections, waiting quietly for the right moment to resurface. Each auction breathes new life into these coins, reminding collectors and enthusiasts alike that sometimes the most incredible treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. A single 1989 penny can tell a story that spans decades, connecting ordinary people to a world of rare numismatics, secret auctions, and historic finds. And now, for the part every collector dreams about. The 1989 1-cent penny has been sold in high-end auctions for prices reaching $65,000 or more, depending on condition and rarity. Imagine holding a coin you once considered insignificant, only to learn that it is worth a fortune. That is the magic of the 1989 penny. It reminds us that luck, timing, and a careful eye can turn the simplest coin into a life-changing treasure. Every jar of pennies, every forgotten drawer, every wallet could conceal this legendary coin. So, if you have a 1989 penny, take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, study the date, and consider its condition. Because if you have this coin, you could be holding one of the rarest, most valuable pennies ever minted. Auctions, private sales, and collector circles all confirm it. The 1989 penny is not just a coin. It is history, it is mystery, and it is a fortune waiting for the luckiest person in the world to discover. Oh, if you've been casually tossing pennies into jars, drawers, or old wallets, it's time to take a closer look. That ordinary 1989 penny you've overlooked for years could very well be the rare treasure collectors around the world are hunting. Remember, this isn't just a coin. It's history, it's rarity, it's a secret fortune waiting to be discovered, and it has the power to change your life. A single high-grade 1989 penny has been known to reach $65,000 or more at exclusive auctions, proving that even the smallest coin can hold unimaginable value. Imagine the thrill of realizing that what seemed like ordinary pocket change could now be your ticket to a fortune. Every collector dreams of this moment. Every private auction buzzes with excitement, and every time a 1989 penny surfaces, it reignites the legend of this tiny but extraordinary coin. If you happen to find it, you are holding a piece of history, a secret treasure that most people will never experience. So go through your coins. Look in jars, wallets, drawers, even old collections you've forgotten. Because if you discover a rare 1989 penny, you are the luckiest person in the world, standing at the threshold of a fortune hiding in plain sight. The question now is, could this coin be in your hands? And if it is, your life might never be the same. If you want, I can also make an even more dramatic auction room style outro for this 1989 penny that's cinematic, tense, and makes viewers feel the thrill of the coin being sold for tens of thousands. Do you want me to do that next? If you have this 1983D penny in your collection, you might be the luckiest person in the world, and I'm not exaggerating. Most people pass by this coin every single day without realizing its extraordinary value. Imagine walking into a local store, paying with pennies, and one of them quietly hiding a fortune. That's exactly what a 1983D penny is. A coin so overlooked that it has become a hidden treasure for collectors and auction houses alike. Unlike your average cent, this penny has a story, a secret, and a rarity that makes it the center of the collector's universe. You could hold in your hand what many seasoned collectors would give anything to find, and it's sitting quietly in your change jar right now. But before I reveal the jaw-dropping value this coin can fetch an exclusive auction, let's dive deep into its history, design, and why it's so coveted. The story begins in 1983 at the Denver Mint, where an unexpected twist occurred during production. That year, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from the classic copper composition of pennies to a new zinc core with a thin copper plating. While millions of 1983 pennies were minted, a very small number carried a peculiar anomaly that made them stand out: a double die reverse error. This rare error, sometimes called a mule, is subtle to the untrained eye but screams jackpot to the keen collector. If you examine a normal 1983D penny, you see the Lincoln Memorial on the back, neat, precise, exactly as it should be. But on the 1983D error penny, the letters, the monument, or the date itself might show doubling or slight misalignment, an imperfection that turns ordinary metal into a treasure. Collectors around the world are obsessed with these pennies. Closed-door auctions, private collector-only sales, and high-end numismatic auctions are constantly buzzing with bidders hunting this coin. The rarity is mind-blowing. Unlike coins that flood the market, the 1983D error penny exists in tiny numbers, quietly slipping through circulation. Many of these coins were used as regular change and thrown into jars, wallets, and piggy banks, only to be discovered decades later by a lucky individual. Imagine being that person, opening an old box of coins and finding one of these tiny treasures. The excitement, the adrenaline, the disbelief. You are suddenly in a league of collectors who chase this coin like a golden ticket. The design itself tells a story. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln gazes serenely, untouched by time. But on this rare penny, even Lincoln seems to carry a secret. The mint mark, the D for Denver, is the key identifier. This mint mark is tiny, almost innocuous, yet it is the doorway to enormous value. Some collectors have traveled thousands of miles just to inspect a single 1983D penny at private auctions. And the thrill doesn't stop there. Imagine a bidding war at a collector-only auction, the tension in the room palpable, and the final hammer revealing that the winning bid for a single cent is in the tens of thousands of dollars. It sounds impossible, but this penny has made headlines for fetching upwards of $80,000 in recent sales. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that costs a cent in everyday life can, in the right hands and at the right auction, become an $80,000 masterpiece. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the story behind its survival. Unlike gold or silver coins that people hoard for investment, pennies were often overlooked, stepped on, carried around, and even lost in carpets or cushions. Yet some of these 1983D pennies survived decades in pristine condition, maintaining their mint luster. These are the coins that dominate high-end auctions, where collectors with decades of experience bid relentlessly. Imagine entering an exclusive auction house, feeling the weight of history in your hands, and realizing the coin you hold could make you richer than you ever imagined. The adrenaline alone is worth the hunt. Every detail matters when evaluating a 1983 penny. Experts examine the date, mint mark, and any signs of doubling under magnification. Even the smallest imperfection or perfection, depending on how you look at it, can change the value by thousands of dollars. Auction catalogs constantly highlight the condition, provenance, and uniqueness of these coins. Private collectors pay close attention to these descriptions, sometimes buying coins unseen, trusting the reputation of auction houses that have sold similar rare pennies for record-breaking prices. If you've ever dreamed of being part of this elite world, now is your moment. Holding a 1983 penny is like holding a piece of secret history, a silent whisper of wealth and rarity that most people will never understand. And the intrigue doesn't stop there. Some of these pennies have traveled through history like little time capsules, passing hands in hidden collections, tucked away in safes, and appearing in closed-door auctions for the first time in decades. Each auction brings the coin into the spotlight, sparking frenzy among collectors who know that missing out might mean waiting years, or even decades, for another chance. The scarcity is real, the excitement palpable, and the stakes astronomical. You are not just holding a coin. You are holding a story, a mystery, and a fortune waiting to be realized. If you're watching this right now and realize that you might have this penny in your possession, your life could literally change overnight. Every auction, every private sale, and every high-end collector's catalog underscores one undeniable truth. The 1983 penny is more than just metal. It is a ticket into the world of rare numismatics, where fortunes are made and dreams come alive. From the subtle doubling of the letters to the crisp mint mark that only true collectors can spot, every detail whispers opportunity. Every time this penny crosses the auction block, the room holds its breath, collectors sweat, and the final hammer tells a story of immense value. Stories where ordinary people become unexpectedly wealthy, simply because they were the lucky ones to have found this coin. And now, here comes the big reveal that will shock anyone who thought pennies were worthless. A pristine 1983 1-cent penny, verified and authenticated, has been sold at auction for a staggering $80,000. Yes, a coin worth 1 cent when minted has become a collector's holy grail. Imagine that. A coin you might have ignored as a child, dropped in a piggy bank, or even left in a drawer could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. That's why collectors, historians, and even casual hobbyists search tirelessly through their change, at garage sales, at thrift stores, and in dusty old collections, hoping for a glimpse of this rare treasure. And every single auction only proves the point. Those who discover a 1983 penny are among the luckiest people in the world. Owning this coin is not just about the money. It's about being part of a story, a secret shared among the elite collectors, whispered in numismatic circles, and celebrated behind the closed doors of auction houses. If you have this coin, you are literally holding a piece of history that could transform your life. Every auction, it appears and ignites excitement. The tension builds, and the final bid cements its legacy. And remember, the next time you look through your change, what seems like an ordinary penny might just be the fortune you never expected. This is the magic of the 1983 penny. Ordinary on the surface, extraordinary in reality, and worth more than most people could ever imagine. So, if you've been sitting there thinking about your loose change, take a closer look. That ordinary penny you toss into a jar, that coin forgotten at the bottom of your wallet, could very well be the legendary 1983 1-cent penny, the coin that has turned ordinary people into some of the luckiest collectors in the world. Remember, this isn't just a coin. It's history, it's rarity, it's a secret treasure waiting to be discovered, and it's worth more than you ever imagined. $80,000 in the right hands at an exclusive auction. Imagine the thrill, the excitement, the disbelief of realizing that something you casually owned all these years could now change your life forever. Every collector dreams of this moment. Every auction buzzes with anticipation, and every time the penny appears in a private sale or collector-only auction, it creates history once again. You could be that lucky person holding in your hand what many have searched decades for and never found.